There have been some surprises so far into the season with the play of the Carolina Hurricanes, the Toronto Maple Leafs, the Boston Bruins. But not surprising, the play of Pittsburgh Penguins star Sidney Crosby and Capital savior Alexander Ovechkin. Now, what do you think these players will have to provide for their teams during the middle stretch of the season?
Well, I think Sidney Crosby in particular is going to provide a lot, and especially now that he has the Stanley Cup with him. He now has Bill Guerin, Chris Kunitz on his line, so he doesn't necessarily have to play with Malkin to make his whole team better. What Ovechkin provides, I think, is goal scoring, and it's not selfish for him to score 50 or 60 goals. That's what they need him to do. But what they need him to do as well is step up and be a team, more of a team player. Because with Alexander Semin now hurt, and they have Mike Knuble hurt too, they're still looking for that third guy to come in the top line with Nicholas Backstrom too.
Through December, these guys are really going to be the rabbit on the racetrack for both of their teams. They're the high scoring, the big names. They've proven what they can do and pull an organization out of the depths. So what they need to do in December is really to be that rabbit and to pace their team in every way possible. And both, have proven that they have the characteristics to do that. So just keeping the Caps and the Pens on top of the league is something that's going to fall on the shoulders, during the dregs of the season here on those two guys.
Well, we've seen a lot of injuries so far in the league. Now, do you think that certain players are improving because they don't have to go up against the major superstars that they do sometimes? Defenses have been weakened, offense is slacking a little bit. Just some teams, you look at the Hurricanes, they're a great team, but everybody's pretty much out. So how do you think that those guys are going to play when the NHL teams are back at full strength?
I think they'll even play better, and that's what they're here to do. That's why they're superstars. They play better whenever the situation gets tough. So I think they'll just get their step up.
Yeah, water finds its own level. It's not, they're not playing on any other level than they are right now. It's something that they're going to keep going no matter who they're playing against. They show up every day. It's the same routine. They play the same intensity all the way through. So I don't think it'll make a difference. But obviously, down the stretch run, it's something that they'll provide their teams with a little bit of pace.
Well, the Boston Bruins are back on top of the Northeast Division, along with the Ottawa Senators and the Buffalo Sabres. Now, Chris, going forward into a month that's usually plagued with injuries and fatigue, what's really going to help these guys control and retain that league at top of the Northeast Division?
Well, I think over the last week, what we've seen with Savard coming back and Lucic going, under the IR again, the Bruins have really weathered the beginning of the year. But what's come out of it is the play of their young guys, and Tuukka Rask and Tim Thomas are now two number one goaltenders in that system. It's we talked about it last week. Having two number one goalies is what it is on top. But I think that the big thing about the Bruins this year, that we talked about is, despite who's in net, the defense still has faith in who's behind them. There's no different style of play depending on the goalie. Last year you saw it with Manny Fernandez. The defense would really kind of try to adjust and do more and make more plays out of their zone to try to protect Fernandez, not having Tim Thomas as their safety net and goal. It's not to say Fernandez didn't have a strong year, but the defense really changed their attitude and how they work together on the ice. So this year having Tuukka and Timmy on the same page really allows the defense to have confidence and play game in, game out, no matter who's behind them, the same level. And it's really provided a swing to their offense.
And this is great for any defense to have confidence in their goalie because they do the dirty work still, but they need faith in their goalie as well. But you look at the offense, and Patrice Bergeron right now, we don't know his status for this week. Wednesday he might be questionable against Tampa Bay, but you also look at some of the emerging stars. Michael Ryder is starting to find his touch back. He had he had a nice goal in the shootout and a goal on the power play, which is doing quite well as of late too in the power play. 3 goals against Ottawa is certainly a nice step in the right direction there. And you look at Blake Wheeler finally emerging. You look at some of these other guys. The one concerning part is Marco Sturm, though. With that no trade clause, I know last year he was hurt, but he still needs to step up his game and maybe get to the level where Bergeron was last year and when he came back from the injury.
Well, right now in the Eastern Conference, a lot of teams, they're not playing to their skill level because, again, there's so many injuries right now. So who do you think is going to make a mark for the midseason? Who do you think will really make an unexpected push as we near the new year?
I'm going to go with the Ottawa Senators right now. They've been doing it so far, and I think they could be in the middle of the Eastern Conference, maybe by 4th or 5th by the end of the month, because they certainly benefit from the Healy trade too, and we mentioned this earlier. So they still run that running gun style well, and but they still need to play defense at the same time as we saw Saturday night.
Atlanta could make a push, and Tampa Bay's in the same boat. It all comes from a solid system and solid goaltending, and both those teams have gotten that so far. So if their offense are starting to get back on track. Atlanta had a big night the other night against Carolina, so it looks like they're on track. They could make a push, so it'll be interesting to see what will end up by the flip of the new year.
Can't forget about Buffalo too with Ryan Miller.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as these teams sort of recover, they get back, they get their lines put back together. Any teams that you're expecting to make not a full recovery, but at least up their standings once they get their full team back?
The Philadelphia Flyers, for one. You look at James Van Riemsdyk, what he's done this year. He's second in rookies in scoring, and they're still in the 4 and 5 spot right now, despite all those injuries. So they can make a late push for sure.
I think the Bruins are going to keep bumping their position up all the way. I think once everybody gets healthy, Lucic will be back in 4 weeks, so that'll be as soon as the new year hits. So I think they'll be up top by the end of the year and continue to pressure Washington and Pittsburgh and make the race interesting towards the end of the season.
All right, everyone. Well, thank you for joining us here on this edition of Inside Hockey TV. On behalf of Chris Conroy and Tim Rosenthal, I'm your host, McKenzie Lavoie. We hope to see you right back here next week.